Hello everyone, my name is Tagiris and welcome to a new Minecraft series. Now, you may be immediately wondering, if this is a new series, then what's all this stuff behind you? So, I've decided to do something slightly different here and start a new series in an existing world. So, this is a world that I've been playing on, multiplayer world, for about a year now, and I figured, well, I can just skip right past all that gathering resources, getting started, getting all my gear, and just move straight into the building. And let's be honest, building's the best part of Minecraft. Now, so we're going to go and take a quick tour around the island to show you what I've been working on and explain the kind of lore that I'm building here, because I like to tell a story with my world. And then from there, we're going to move on to some building. All right. Okay, so we'll be starting our tour here at the largest and most important structure on the island. This is a cathedral that I've built for the Order of the Stalwart Blade. It's an order of knights that have set up shop on this island because it's great defensive ability, as it's being surrounded by a bunch of ice that makes it difficult to assault. Now, the inside of the cathedral at the current moment is a little bare, but we do have plans to expand it later. So there's going to be a large underforge built, a barracks, an arena, an armory, all that kind of stuff that a knightly order would need to support themselves on this island. Now, from here, we can head across the conjoined walkway to the watchtower. Now, this watchtower is mostly being used as a storage room by myself at the current moment, but we can take a nice look at the gardens and the plaza on the other side there. So, in here is just a bunch of chests, some brewing, all that normal stuff you'd have in Minecraft, and kind of works as the heart of my base here. So, if we go up here a section, we'll head to the main foyer and out there through the gardens to the farms. Now, this is the first part of the village that's being set up by the people protected by the Knightly Order. So, if we just head down here, we'll see the tail end of the gardens and the farming area. Now, normally on an island as cold as this, it wouldn't really make sense to have a large farm area, but this island's also important for another reason. There's a large geothermal area underneath that keeps the island nice and warm and allows them to grow crops year-round, even in the snow. So, we just have a couple of small buildings here, and a couple of villagers here doing the farming, because villagers are great. They just add an extra kind of bit of motion and interest with them going about their daily routines in and out. Just helps the place feel a little bit more alive than a bunch of buildings. So, if we head up the road here, we'll head into the village proper. So, this village is where we started the video, and it's just a small little hamlet, I suppose. We got the librarian's house, which is larger and much more fancy. We got a big wizard tower here. This is actually a design from way back by Corrales that I've appropriated. I just really like the design in it. Just changed the block palette a bit, and it fit in quite nicely with the rest of the buildings I built. So we have an alchemist. We've got a large mason's house with their little area back here with their projects they're working on. We have one smith's house. We got their little work area here. We got the other smith's house, which is the armorer. See if you can see in through the window here. All right. And then we have this building, which is actually a communal bathhouse. And this is going to kind of show an example of what I meant by the geothermal area. So if we head down the stairs here, we have these little banners that show the different change rooms. And then here we have this nice little underground hot spring with all the steam coming up. And then if we look on the other side of the bathhouse, we have the massive caves that are underneath the island. Now, these caves go a fair bit down, and they're all carved out, and they provide a lot of the heat that keeps the village warm, and the various greenhouses and whatnot that are also on the island to provide food. Now, the only problem this island does have, since it can grow food with geothermal, is that they don't have access to large amounts of resources, such as lumber, animals, like anything like that that's hard to support. So what would make sense for the island is for them to have some sort of shipping area. And now that's the project we'll be working on today. So if I just head out the back gate here of the village, we have this walkway this natural archway that heads off, well, into nowhere. So what we're going to be working on next, I'll do a little time lapse to show it, is we're going to clear all these temporary trees I added just to fill area to make it look nice. And we're going to build a matching cliff face, just like this, on the other side. And then from there, we can start planning out what we're going to do for the docks. Okay, well, that was a bit of a Herculean task. Probably bit off a bit more than I could chew there with the terraforming, but it's all finished now, and we now have a actually a pretty decent amount of space here to work with. So I'm just going to quickly hop down here so I can show you kind of the general idea of what I was working on here. I've only finished this side as far as like the general landscaping is going, just because the other sides facing the ocean are going to be finished while we work on the projects related to that side. So how I do it is I like to kind of rough out the top of the plateau or hill or whatever it is, the largest dirt segment first, so I have a rough idea of what I'm working with. Then what I do is I'll come back through with stone and just kind of line like one block back from the dirt, just so you have a rough idea of where the top is, and then you match that line underneath with the bottom half, and then you create kind of a backfill from the inside to make it kind of this curved shape. Then you just go in and you round out the shape with the stairs and slabs, and then come back through and randomize some other parts and then add the greenery. It's a pretty straightforward process. It just takes a couple passes to get it done correctly, and that's kind of what I showed in the time lapse. For the random cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, and andesite here, I've been trying to focus more along the bottom to show almost a bit of weathering, and then we're just adding more andesite as it goes up, and then adding a dirt overhang, and it's comes together to make something that looks pretty good, I would say. And then it's just a bit of, you know, a pop of color, some lights, and it turns out pretty well. So if I just climb back up here, we'll take a look at the space here and get a rough idea of what the plan is here. So this area is now fully plotted out. I like to use the sandstone just to line where I'm going to be putting the buildings, because it's visually distinct from all the stone and whatnot that are in the area, but also it can be instantly mined because of haste. So it's pretty easy to tear down when you're doing the actual construction. So this big building here is, like I said before, going to be an inn/tavern. The empty section here is going to be the tavern, with a little nook on the back for a bedroom for the tavern keeper, and then a little nook here for the kitchen kind of bar area. And then from there's a hallway that heads into this section, which is going to be the various rooms. And it's going to be 2 stories up, so that should give us a decent number of rooms. And then we got these little dotted areas out front that are just going to be little kind of nice overhang/porch areas. Not quite sure exactly. This one might be like an outdoor dining area. And then from there, we'll have these little lines here, which represent all of the various docks. So we got a good number of docks here, and I did space a couple of them closer together, just in case I want to double up and have like a larger ship. I'm not entirely sure at the current moment, because I do want a decent number of ships here to make it look like it is a busy port, which this island is supposed to be, kind of a busy shipping area, but I don't want it to be too visually busy, if that makes sense, because I don't want it to detract away from the fact that this is supposed to be a shipping area. We don't want ships docked here for ages, what it'll look like if this is all full. Just enough to give it a kind of a visual idea of them coming and going. Maybe I'll even put one floating out in the middle of the ocean there to make it look like it's arriving. So then this area here I've left empty because it's going to be kind of a general parts staging area. So there's going to be piles of like crates and chests and maybe some animals in cages, stuff like that would be coming on and off of the ships. I'm also going to add some minecart tracks onto the dock to make it look like there's a transportation system for moving large quantities of material. And then over here we have this kind of warehouse. While this does look a little small compared to the size of the area, I figured if they're going to be storing building materials like stone and wood and gravel, all that stuff outside, it doesn't really make sense to have a huge warehouse. This is mostly for goods that would spoil if left outside or need to be protected. So we have a big kind of storage room right here. Then we have 2 little storage nooks in the main building here. And then this big room back here is actually going to be open to the lower floor that I mentioned before, with a cargo elevator. And then I may actually hollow out the inside of this cliff here a bit and add like a lower storage area if I need to expand. I'm not sure. This building's going to be a bit of a project because of the scale of it. And then the last building we have is this little one right here, which is going to be kind of like a census office or like a dockmaster's office. Just so like this would be where the paperwork would be done to track like shipments coming in and out, taxes and duties, like all that stuff. So this is probably what we're going to start building, just so I can give you guys kind of an idea of how I build these buildings that I've been doing in this theme. And also, well, to be honest, the inn and the warehouse are going to be large projects that are probably going to be reserved for their own episode. So there we go. We suddenly have a finished building. Well, not entirely finished, but we got the basic structure kind of laid out here. So we have this kind of awning I was talking about over the front door, just made with some stone brick walls, spruce fences, and spruce gates. And then we have the basic structure here. How I start these structures off is I'll go with a 3-block gap in between them with stone bricks, just to show where the main foundation points are going to be for the spruce pillars to be risen up from. And then I'll bridge the gap using cracked stone brick, cobblestone, andesite, just to create a transition between each post. Kind of like how I was talking about with the terraforming below, of working from the most weathered to least weathered, just to add a bit of a natural gradient. From there, I'll knock out some windows in places that make logical sense. The idea is this is where the main desk is going to be sitting. So he wants to have a good view so he can see all the stuff that's going on. And also doesn't help that if we go around the corner here, there's a big chunk of stone right here. So not really much to look at from this side of the office. And then I just added an extra window here just in terms of for symmetry. So if we go ahead here and grab some quick materials here. So we're going to use dark oak, I think, for the main chair and whatnot. Decor here. Grab some quartz for the seat, I think. And grab some more for just a fence. Or not fence, a sign. I'll get some dark oak signs. So that'll be the desk, a little door section, that, and then we want, I think, some chests and some spruce trapdoors to make a filing cabinet kind of section, or at least a shelf. Oh, we'll grab that. Why not as well? Then some lights. Just start laying some stuff out here on the interior. Just do this nice rough and quick here. So go like that. Get our trapdoors. That and that. Should probably want this to face the other way. Makes more sense for how this would be. So that's a section of the desk there that opens. Go ahead and put in a chair. Just put it straight up against that. And we want back for the chair. Just like that. Yeah, I think that looks fine. And we'll get some signs to put arms on the chair. These simple kind of derpy Minecraft chairs that aren't really too fancy. I think we'll just leave the back how it is there. That looks fine. Here, let's add a bookshelf. There. Chest and another chest, I think, at that height. Or our spruce doors here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. See a nice kind of shelf on the one side there. And then on this side, unfortunately, I can't put anything else there. So I think go ahead and just put a barrel. Use this as kind of a pseudo end table. Barrel. Whoop. Barrel facing. Whoop. Can't place in the right spot. Oh man. There we go. So barrel facing up. Little potted plant. I think it looks good. And then we'll put a lantern just on his desk there. Just to give a little writing area. Okay. So how are we looking in terms of light here? This is all fine. And this is mostly fine too. I just need another light in the corner, which I think just grab a chain and hang that from the ceiling. There we go. And that should keep this whole area unspawnable. Right. So let's go grab some more barrels and chests to make that storage area I was talking about. And you know what? Let's grab a maybe some campfires, I think. Yeah, that's probably gonna look good. Like just adding little details like this can add so much visual appeal just to a kind of a simple area like this. And you don't really think about it at the time, but just having it look like this space is being used does wonders for, you know, adding to the visual interest here. Got all that there. Maybe we'll move this barrel slightly further so you can see in there. Yeah, that looks good. And let's grab the fancy part. These little micro blocks. These are amazing, and I would suggest just installing the data pack for these just on any world you play on, because just having little details you can add, it just adds so much. And these are available on vanilla too, so you might as well, really. There we go. It's a nice little storage area off of there. And I guess the last thing to do is just add a door and some windows. I may add some more stuff here. The problem is if I add any barrels here, they're going to connect to these. Yeah, these fences. So could add maybe some barrels like that. Maybe a chest or two just kind of sitting around. And then again, some more campfires. There we go. So it looks like a kind of a storage area just in this. Just, it fills space is mostly what it's there for. Yeah. So I think that's all we're going to do for that in terms of decor. Be diligent and put my materials away. Go. So while we're in this chest, let's go ahead and grab that. And oh, there's my glass. Put on a little door there. Put my windows in. And there we go. That's the little finishing touches, and that's a nice little office that we have set up now. So we're going to end the episode there for today. I'm a little sorry that things were a little all over the place today, but it was largely about getting our projects organized and getting a platform built for us to work on in the future. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'm going to do my best to answer any comments left in the video, create a bit of dialogue between me and you guys. And if you like this video, make sure to let me know too. I'm going to try to keep things more organized in the future. And yeah, I'm going to be posting a video every other Monday. So look forward to that. Thank you very much, and have a good day, guys.